We're protected, but we're constantly up against adversity, you know?
Vicky here at Slam Dunk Festival with Devin of I See Stars. How are you today?
Good. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
And you played Slam Dunk earlier on today. How was it?
It's awesome. Yeah, I felt like, it's like I didn't have my coffee yet, but the crowd was the coffee, so we got through it, yeah.
Do you consider yourself a storyteller?
I really hope so. I think my favorite artists are people like Ben Gibbard from Death Cab and Brandon Flowers from The Killers. I feel like those are artists that really know how to tell a story. It almost feels like the lyrics are most important, you know, and I think we're in there's a lot of artists that are really good at writing melodies and writing, just really tasty melodies, but something about a lyric that says something in a way that you never thought about saying it. Like, you've heard or thought of that feeling a million times, but they said it in a way that just was exactly how you feel. I just think that's like the coolest thing ever, and I really strive for that, but it's tough. It's very difficult.
I wanted to delve into one of your new songs, Damage Done.
Yeah.
I like the lyrics. There's a million people in my head.
Yeah.
There's a million people, and so on.
Yeah.
For me, what I got from that was like digital noise. I don't know if it's anything associated with that.
Yeah, you're right on it. The whole song is kind of about just being attached to your phones. There's comparing blue light, describing it as like dim cerulean, which is like a specific type of blue. But yeah, it's just about having a million people at your disposal to affect your energy, affect your day to day, and it's just kind of a dangerous way of living, and so it's to me it just felt like the music felt like a really cool way to aggressively talk about it, because I find myself like really attempting to detach from my phone, and I find that it does feel like that. Like, it feels like you're no longer being monitored at all times. There's not a million people in your head or a million people while you're in bed, using your phone. And so, it's, you got it right. That's cool.
There we go. Is it hard to be vulnerable when you're writing lyrics, or are you just used to it by now?
I think it's hard to write lyrics that capture my vulnerability. It takes a long time for me to write a lyric that feels right, but I think that's why our records are so special, is every lyric, every word on the record was thought through a million times. We've changed words out. I've found new ways to say something, and my brother Andrew's in the band and he writes a lot of lyrics too. So I think we together have found a really good system on digging deep and then trying to dig deeper and trying to crack it open even more, and it's a process. But I don't think being vulnerable is something I'm uncomfortable with. I think writing lyrics that capture that vulnerability is hard.
What comes first for you? Is it a lyric, an emotion, or a melody?
Our music has been the inception has come in so many different forms. I tend to really enjoy writing the music first, but on this new record that's coming out, we've really explored writing the lyrics and the melodies first on some of these songs, and I think that was really interesting too. It just depends on what the song calls for. Sometimes the music is so good, it deserves the vocals to not take the lead, I guess. And you want to stay out of your own way. Sometimes you have a vocal or a lyric or a melody that feels so good that the music is almost just a supporting role. So just depends on what the song calls for. I think my particular favorite way, though, is I just love getting lost in the brushstrokes of making music, first and foremost. The lyrics are a little bit more of a personal journey. I think the lyrics come outside of the studio when I'm like either laying in bed or at the beach or something, or on a long drive, so lyrics are a little bit more when I'm writing them, they don't really feel like a song at the time. They feel more like just making journaling or writing poetry or something,
I feel like I See Stars are a band that you come across as passionate on stage and in video, is there something where when you play it's sort of like you don't need to sort of like tap back into those emotions, or does it come out sometimes when you play?
I think that I think I can get the most vulnerable on stage when I have proper time before stage. So I do have a very strict process before I go on stage, because I want to be able to get up there and sing about this stuff and feel what I'm singing, connect with people. It's weird for me because I do want to get up there naturally. I think my best performances are when I'm feeling the lyrics and I'm able to just lose myself. I think that's what losing yourself on stage is all about. You're not thinking about the technical shit. You're not thinking about, your in-ear mix or the crowd. You're thinking about what you're doing, how the crowd's feeling, the lyrics are singing, you know what I mean? And it's quite vulnerable when you can get there.
Where's the strangest place that you found inspiration?
God, it's so weird because I find that I think of like the best lyrics in the most unideal, like non-ideal situations, A lot of times some of my favorite lyrics I'm finding right as I'm drifting to sleep, and I have to like wake up and force myself to write it down, But I think it feels strange to find inspiration when you're going through difficult times, because it almost puts like this positive spin on something that doesn't feel positive, So I think that always feels strange to me, and it's created a weird relationship with, certain eras in my life, or even now when I go through difficult stuff. There's a strangeness to it where I feel like I need to write about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need to feel it though and not write about it, but I'm an artist and I find myself struggle between knowing myself when it's appropriate to pick up the pencil and when I just need to feel what I'm feeling. So I guess that's strange to me, but I don't know. It's weird. I don't really think of, I think we find inspiration all around us. And so there's never really, I don't really think of that as strange. Yeah.
And your band has been around for a while now, so I feel like if you think of back when you first started as a band and that moment of we're living our dream now.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been living it for a while, so how does living the dream evolve over time?
It just evolves constantly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, I think great artists, they come from that mindset, I think they're their own worst critic, and I think they always want to be better. And I think when I think about me as a performer when I was starting at age 11 and then when I got signed at 15, and the idea of being present on stage as opposed to like back when I was 15, I would get off stage and it kind of felt like this blacked out experience where there was a little bit of nerves, a little bit of adrenaline, and you're just up there and you're not really making eye contact. It's like a lot of things that I've focused on being on stage, and which makes me feel more like I'm living my dream because I'm able to actually be present up there and actually able to understand the crowd, understand myself and how I feel. So I think we'll go our whole lives trying to be our version of a fully evolved artist, but it never really ends.
If you could describe your band in an object, an emoji and a sound, which would you pick?
So an object, let's start there. I want to call it I want to say like a slinky, because I feel like it's just like it's wobbly when it's like going down the stairs, but we kind of take things one step at a time, and we follow each other's lead, and eventually we get to where we're going,
Yeah.
What was the other one? So emoji?
Yeah.
I would say the umbrella with the rain.
Yeah.
Because we're protected, but we're constantly up against adversity, Thunder.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what we do is scary, but the music can sometimes be peaceful. So it's like thunder can be scary, but it can also be like rain is peaceful, a storm is peaceful, it can put you to sleep,
So what's next for Icy Stars after Slam Dunk?
So after Slam Dunk, we're doing a couple shows. We got we're headlining in London, and we're headlining in Glasgow, and then funny enough, I have to fly back to Detroit real quick for a wedding, and then I fly back to Germany, to do the Rock Park and Rock Ring festivals. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we hope to hear more from you and maybe see you back in the UK at some point.
I would love that.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. Yeah.